If you're seeing this right now, it's most likely because it's a re-upload. Universal's hooked on the previous version because it included footage from the Game Awards, which I can see why they did that. But this is a re-upload, and this time there will be no trailers or any clips of the movie, so people can watch it. I'm sorry for this, guys, and yeah, enjoy.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while since my last upload, which was also a Mario video, but that's partially because I've been busy for a while. But it's finally here with no delay. It's finally out. The Super Mario Brothers movie has been out for about 2 weeks, and it's by far a very, very interesting movie. I cannot wait to review this movie. I held a poll about like a week ago, and not too long after I saw the movie, saying if you guys wanted to see me review the movie since it's been a while, and you guys said yes. And I'm not the only one reviewing this movie. Today I'm going to be reviewing the movie with the one and only Nostalgia Entertainment.
Yeah, um, it's good that we're doing another movie review, but this time we're doing a Universal movie, which is even more special for me because I love that company a lot.
Yeah, we don't. I don't really. I don't remember the last movie review we did. It was probably. I think it was Long Haul, but that was the season one finale. This isn't no finale. It's still sort of. It's still just a video that me and him are making. And this was a video I had in mind for like a while now, and I wanted to do it ever since I like got out of the movie theater for the first time. But now that I've seen the movie twice, which also marks the first time I've seen a movie twice out, in a theater, so it was just super good, and I cannot wait to get into my personal thoughts and how I felt about the movie in general. So I guess we'll just start with what basically like what like studios were behind making the movie.
Yeah, so the Super Mario Brothers movie is made by Universal Pictures, Illumination Entertainment, and Nintendo, which I love those companies. And Universal Pictures is my favorite movie company of all time, with them making so many good animation and live action movies. There's so much to look forward to this year besides the Mario movie for Universal. Um, they have been making some excellent movies since like 2019, and they gave us the trailer for the Mario movie like in October, I think, and
Yeah.
then yeah, there was like also like a Nintendo Direct with it. I didn't see the Direct because I didn't want to see like people like talk shit about it, so I was just waiting for it until it went on the Universal YouTube channel. So yeah, I watched it from there. Then I watched the other trailers from there too. Um, but yeah, all the trailers were so good. But my only problem is with the trailers. I wish that they were a bit longer. But hey, the rest of it was amazing though.
Personally, I think when I first watched the first trailer, I was kind of mixed. I mean, me and you did a video on our thoughts on the first trailer. I didn't feel like it showed much. It just showed like a snippet of the beginning of the movie, which is Bowser and the Penguins fighting, and then just cuts to Mario being in the Mushroom Kingdom, and it's oh, the preview's over. It's not. It's like over, just like barely over a minute long, and it doesn't really cut it for me. But I do feel like they should have not shown the Bowser thing at the beginning because that would have been a neat surprise to have while watching the movie. In fact, that's one of my personal like things I didn't like about the trailers is that I feel like they show too much. I feel like if you watched all the trailers, you've pretty much seen like half of the movie. And that's not a complaint, really. I'm just saying that, yes, I do agree the trailers should have been longer, but they also should have cut some things that were important to the plot. Like, the Bowser and Penguins fighting at the beginning, which was in the first trailer, in our first look at the Mario movie. Now, I will admit, when the Mario movie cast was revealed in the 2021 September Direct, I was a bit skeptical because I did not like Chris Pratt playing as Mario, and the cast as a whole just didn't really suit well with me. I didn't really think it was going to be a good movie after they revealed the cast. And I still don't know how I feel about Chris Pratt in general being Mario. But overall, I think that while my thoughts on the first trailer and for the entire movie have definitely changed, I would say for the most part, I would say Chris Pratt did a pretty good job. The moment I heard his voice the first time when he did the plumbing commercial, I was like, "Oh wait, he's actually doing Mario for once." Because in the trailers, I feel like they sort of like picked the worst lines for him, and the first ever line you hear from him in the first trailer, the Mushroom Kingdom one, you never hear that in the movie, like at all. They just cut that. And then
Yeah.
they changed the "what is this place" like line. They put that when they went inside, like before they went inside the pipe. But anyway, enough talking about the trailers because we've already probably seen that a bajillion times. Onto the actual movie. So the movie begins with the Bowser, uh, challenging the penguins to a duel. Of course, the penguins do jack shit to him and can't even hurt him with snowballs. Obviously, the penguin was like, oh, he asked him to yield, and Bowser's like, oh, I do not, and the cannon just throws the penguins out of the way, and then Bowser just flames down the entire building and finds a block which contains a star. Upon finding the star, he says, I finally found it, and now no one can stop me. For some reason, they changed the line. And then it cuts to the Super Mario Bros. Plumbing commercial that we saw back in February, which also was a pretty good thing how they referenced the Super Show of all things. I was not expecting that, especially since the Super Show was often forgotten by Nintendo.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure of the Super Show. I'm not sure if Nintendo was involved in the Super Show project. I have to look that up on the internet, but I knew that it was made by Deke and Cookie Jar Productions. So yeah, I might have to take a look at that. But with that referencing the Super Show, I was so thrilled to see that the commercial. It was like an '80s commercial, which yeah, it does remind me of the '80s when they do show it. And there were some Easter eggs in it. If you noticed, there was like a Punch Out Easter egg in the on the map in the commercial. But we're gonna get into the Easter eggs pretty soon in the video. But yeah, there's a lot of Easter eggs in the movie though.
Yeah, but anyways, what's really cool to even get that '80s vibe with the commercial itself. It kind of has that sort of '80s feel to it, with how like it sort of has this like filter applied over it, which was not in the original commercial. It was just not a filter because they post the plumbing commercial in February, but in the actual movie, it has sort of like a filter applied to it, and the screen's smaller to sort of get that vibe of like a classic commercial. Then after the commercial ends, it cuts to Mario and Luigi, and they're talking about how, oh, this commercial was so good, we cannot wait to get phone calls. And then a person who is very, very obscure, I'm surprised they even referenced him, Spike from Wrecking Crew, pops in, and he's like, oh, have you got one call since you started your dumb company? And then not Chris Pratt, I mean Luigi tells them that they have, but it's from their mom. And then he throws his phone on the
Mama.
ground and breaks it. And then and then Spike assaults Luigi, and then Mario's like, say that again about my brother, and you're going to regret it. And then he throws the paper at his face. And then he picks up Mario and he's like, get this through your tiny brain, Mario. You're a joke. And you always will be. And he just froze him.
Yeah, I love Spike in the movie. Like it's not like I like most of it's accurate though, but like I think the shades are a bit different though with the character compared with the game. But I love Spike, and then in that scene you see a lot of Easter eggs. So the Spike, Mario, and Luigi are in this pizzeria called Punch Out Pizzeria, which references Mike Tyson Punch Out from the Nintendo Entertainment System. And my dad grew up with that game. That was like one of the games that my dad grew up with. And I I just saw the movie last night. I and my dad saw it. It was my third time seeing the movie. My dad saw it for the first time for this movie, but he loved the all the Punch Out Easter eggs. Like there was Glassy Gel, there was Doc Lewis, like that there was just so much Punch Out Easter eggs in it. And we also saw the character that Charles Martinet plays. It's the character is referencing the Jumpman and the old Mario movie that came out a long time ago. Yeah, he doesn't appear much in the movie. It's really the beginning and the end of the movie. But it's nice that Charles Martinet is in the movie. And yeah, there's just so many Easter eggs in the Punch Out Pizzeria. Like I would love to eat at the Punch Out Pizzeria. I wonder what the pizza tastes like.
Probably tastes like crusty crab pizza. But anyway, after that, they get a call, like a call from someone, and they're like, "Oh, we got a call." They try to go start their van, but it doesn't seem to work. So they have to take the other way out and start running to the person's place. And this is where a lot of people had a lot of problems with the licensed music. After this happens, No Sleep Till Brooklyn starts playing, and a lot of people really did not like the licensed music. I personally didn't mind it. In fact, I think this fit very well because they're in Brooklyn. They're on their way to their first stop, and No Sleep Till Brooklyn's playing in the background. I think it fits. And in fact, when they first start going to their house, you can see for a second they reference 1-1 from the original Super Mario Bros. For a split second. I like how they did that because I honestly was pretty cool. And then another thing I noticed is when Mario like goes down the flagpole, he kind of like spins around and then jumps off, sort of like in Super Mario Run and Remix 10. I noticed that too. And then they make it to their first stop, and then they go to do their job. The parents of the people who tell them like to clean their thing, they introduce them. So what's the problem in that? And then this is probably where, in my opinion, I feel like could have been more time. I don't really know why it took so, like, why it was such a long. But Luigi accidentally steps on the dog's bone, and he gets pissed off at them. So as they're fixing, they're about to leave. The dog's like, "Oh no, you fucked up!" And then they're trying to fight them, and he ends up breaking a lot of things. And then, of course, after that, we don't see how exactly what happened after. It just cuts to them sitting at the table with their family. But long story short, the dog fucks up like a lot of things and makes the bathroom a total mess. So then after that, and a split second of like the people's reactions, we then get cut and see to their house, and we see Mario and Luigi's family for the first ever time, and that's honestly super cool how they actually put the family in there.
Yeah, it's very cool how they added all that. Like I was super shocked when I saw that. I said, "Oh my god, this is Mario and Luigi's family!" Like, there's so many family members in there, and there's also so many Easter eggs in there too. I'm not sure if you noticed a few of them, but when the mom was holding like the bowl like on the sides, like there was like the Toast Arena pyramids on the bowl, and then I think there was like another picture frame like in the background, and then yeah, I think that was the only Easter eggs we saw in there. And the back and the other scene when Mario and Luigi go fix the for those people, we see a lot of Easter eggs too. We see like a Galaxy Easter egg. We see like a Pikmin Easter egg in there.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Like, and then and then happens next is like Mario's disappointed that they didn't do their job right, and he plays this Nintendo Entertainment System game called Kid Icarus. I originally thought it was Ghosts and Goblins at first, but it's Kid
Yeah.
Icarus. And then there is some posters in the background that reference baseball from the NES game. So yeah, there's lots of NES references in the beginning of the movie and the Brooklyn stuff. So yeah, it's very cool to see all these Easter eggs from past games, and like the music in the Mario movie. Most of the music is past music from past Mario games. So most of the music is pretty much for like young adults and teenagers who grew up with Mario, but yeah, there are some modern stuff in there too, but yeah, I love Mario's family, and they don't appear a lot in the movie. It's just they really appear in the beginning and the end of the movie. I love the dad. The dad's very funny. He kind of sounds like Daddy Pig to me.
um, but basically, his dad like just kind of like says that their job is fucking stupid. So then, and he's like, "Oh, you're taking your brother down with you too." So Mario's like, "All right, you know what? Thank you, Dad." He goes upstairs, he plays Connect Heroes like you said, and then Luigi's like, "Oh yeah, you're not bringing me down." But then all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, no explanation, Brooklyn just starts flooding, like out of nowhere. So then they're like, oh, wait, we can save this. We're plumbing people. So they try to find the problem, and they find this pothole, and then Mario goes in to obviously fix the problem. And then they both go in and start exploring. They find what the problem is, but it's too late. It gets so high that it's just burst open and water just starts coming towards them, and they get pushed into another place. Then they break through a wall, and then they come across this mysterious place that, according to Mario, people have not been there in years. They then, of course, come across that familiar green pipe that we all know and love. Luigi, being, of course, curious as he is, gets transported to it, and so does Mario. And this begins a lot of people's another problems. The story felt rushed because we didn't see much of Brooklyn in the movie. Like, literally, like 10 minutes of the movie, we're already in the Mushroom Kingdom. Anyway, Luigi gets sent to the Darklands, and Mario gets sent to the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario meets Toad, and then he tells him like what's going on, and Toad tells him, "Oh yeah, we gotta go see the princess." So they do stuff to go see the princess, and I found a little funny reference during all that. Was I liked the Toads who were guarding the castle saying, "Sorry, but you might have had the wrong castle. You sure?" It's a reference to the first
Yeah,
Super
from the
Mario Bros.
first
Game,
Mario game. Yeah.
where Toad says, "Sorry, Mario, but our princess is in another castle," which a lot of people, hated that. So it's cool that they referenced that. I found that super funny my first viewing.
Yeah, yeah. And then the scene where before they enter the pipe, I love how they added the 1-2 Easter egg sign
Yeah, I
on the
saw
rails,
that.
which is very cool. Yeah, I love that. And yeah, the Mushroom Kingdom scene, like when Mario entered the pipe, like that music, the orchestra music, like before like the Peach's castle in the distance, it sounded so good. I said, "Oh my god, this is like the best piece in the Mario movie." Like it was so good. And
Yeah,
then they go and then the next scene is the Darklands, which the Darklands references like Luigi's Mansion stuff, and yeah, there's Luigi, and then he gets scared, and there's a funny scene where he like acts like breaks the dry bones, and he says, "You just got a Luigi," and then
yeah.
the dry bones comes alive. It's very funny. I love the Darklands scene.
The You Just Got Luigi scene is a reference to a popular meme, I believe. So they referenced that, and I really thought that was one of the funniest things in the movie. So, anyways, the dry bone comes back alive, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" So a bunch of dry bones start chasing him. So he then finds this castle. He closes the castle door, and all of a sudden, these Shy Guys and Sniffets come around and just kidnap him. And then we continue to see Mario and Toad's journey.
Yeah. So they walk through all these shops, and all the shops they reference Easter eggs as well. Like I know that one shop is reference from Super Mario World, one is like reference Super Mario Brothers 3. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in the Mushroom Kingdom. Like it's like there's so many details. Like it just like when I saw the movie for the first time, I didn't see all the Easter eggs at first, but now I've pretty much seen pretty much all of them in the movie now because I looked like all over the screen for all of them. Pretty much I found all of them really, but yeah, it's very cool how they added all these shops and references from old games. There was also even a Crazy Cap store in that scene too, which is actually very cool. And it was also in that first Mario movie poster, like in the background too.
Yeah, another thing I liked is when they were on the way to when Mario was following Toad up to the platform. I liked when the guy was like, "Oh, does it work? Yeah, you just have to blow on it," which is of course referencing the infamous story of getting an NES cartridge and blowing on it to see if it works because we've all done that when we were kids. So that's a cool little reference I like a lot. So, anyways, they go up, and Mario comes through these clear pipes that just he really doesn't know how to travel them, so he gets fucked up during the way. Then he has to go through all these other pipes to get up. So he finds his way up, and they go over to Peach's castle, and then Toad distracts the two other Toads that are guarding the castle with cooking, and then Mario busts in the castle to see the princess. So he tells the princess again what's going on, and the princess saying that she wants to stop Bowser as well. So before then, but before she accepts Mario, she tells him, "Oh, let's see what you're made of." So she sets up a training course for him to complete, and it takes him a lot of tries, but eventually he does it. He also learns how power ups work.
Yeah, and then I love the music that they use because they're referencing Shrek 2, which is amazing. That film is an amazing animated film. I love how they added I Need a Hero. Yeah, they do use that song quite a lot. They also do use Take on Me as well. It was also in the movie. I think yeah, it was in the Donkey Kong scene where we're gonna talk about that pretty soon, but with this scene, like the training course was so funny. Like Mario falling down, and yeah, and he's just trying to be funny. He says, "I hate mushrooms," and then he started to get
Yes.
used to eating the mushrooms. Like in the family scene, like he picks off the mushrooms his spaghetti. So basically, he's a child, really, kind of in the beginning of the movie. It, in this scene, it's so funny. Like it took him multiple tries to finish the course, and I wonder how many days it took. I just wish that they showed how many days it took Mario to finish the course. But yeah, that's totally okay. And yeah, so Mario finished the course, and yeah, Peach is proud of him. And like I know I've seen a lot of people complain about this, and a lot of people complain that Mario and Peach don't have there's not a lot of love elements into it. Like there's a little bit of love stuff in it, but like people were complaining that there was not a lot of love stuff in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know why people were complaining about that. Another thing to mention with the training course, I liked it when he was about to complete the course and a piranha plant grabs him and froze him. I thought that was super funny at first. Like
Like
we all know what's going
yeah,
to happen, but like it was pretty funny how, and a lot of people in the cinema too were cracking up at that. But what is it? After the training course, they then go on a huge journey over to Bowser's castle. Eventually, they make it over to Donkey Kong, and they realize they're going to need the Kong's help to take over and defeat Bowser. So they go over to the Kongs, but they don't know how to get there. They found this mysterious white Kong who drives them over, and while they're driving over to see Cranky Kong, Take On Me plays in the background. And this is the only licensed music problem I have, is this one, because it makes no sense at all. No Sleep Till Brooklyn and I Need a Hero made sense because it makes sense with the context. Take On Me does not make sense. And plus, we already had a fantastic cover of DK Allen Sling and a whole bunch of other DK songs that they could have used, but they used a licensed song instead. I don't know why they did that. But other than the use of Take On Me being making no sense at all, they make their way to Cranky Kong, which I will admit, this is another thing that people hated, including myself. The Cranky Kong voice actor, which again, no offense to I think Fred Armisen, I think, but no offense to you, man. But I don't know. I don't feel like it's a good voice for Cranky Kong because you hear Cranky Kong in the games, and it makes sense. He's an old Kong who whines a lot, and his voice, calculates that. But in the movie, he just sounds sort of like Donkey Kong a teeny bit with like a older type of voice. Oh
yeah,
god.
yeah. With the whole DK stuff in the movie, yeah, I love that. I love that Fred Arsman plays Cranky Kong because he used to be on Saturday Night Live, and yeah, I love Saturday Night Live a lot. I watch it like every Saturday night, every time there's like new skits in the show and all of that. Yeah, it's very cool. Fred Arsman played Cranky Kong, and yeah, the I feel like the escort Khan who escorted Mario, Peach, and Toad to Cranky Khan and his army. I feel like that he was like they were referencing like Elvis or something. I'm not really not sure. Um,
you know,
and,
you know
and
that now that you say that, now I feel like yeah, they were probably referencing Elvis. But yeah, after they do,
Elvis Khan,
yeah,
and then like they're and then we see the cards and the stuff, and like we see like one card through like the banana peel at like another card. yeah, there's gonna be a lot of Mario Kart 8 stuff in this movie, so we're gonna get to that in a bit. But yeah, we and then Mario and Peach, like, they want the Khan army to defeat Bowser's army and shit. And then Cranky Khan says, "Oh, you beat my son, and then you'll get the Khan army." And then so Mario and he meets Donkey Kong, which is played by Seth Rogen. They go battle each other. Cranky Kong put some power ups all over the field, so he won't. So the battle won't last for like 5 seconds. And Mario won the battle, and he gets the Khan army. And yeah, Cranky Kong like talks to the main characters about like what their plan is. And do you want to talk about the Mario Kart 8 scene?
Obviously, but first, before we do that, I feel like you went for that scene like way too quickly. So after Mario challenges, like, Donkey Kong. So when he's challenging Donkey Kong, of course, Cranky Kong puts power ups around the field. So the first power up Mario gets is a power down, honestly, a mini mushroom, and obviously Donkey Kong decides, oh yeah, he's got the mini mushroom, so I can just fuck him up. So after he loses that power up, he then finds a fire flower, which Donkey Kong blows out, and then continues to fuck Mario up more. And right as about Mario was looking like to meet his end, he finds a cat suit that Peach tells him about. Because Peach tells him, "Hey, look, this box is below you." So he goes and gets the cat suit, and then this is how he beats Donkey Kong. He realizes he has the reflexes of a cat. So as being a reflex of a cat, he could easily mess up Donkey Kong and still know what's going to happen. So he beats Donkey Kong. And another thing to mention is that when Donkey Kong gets introduced, the DK rap from Donkey Kong 64 starts playing, which is a pretty neat thing. But it's also stupid how they didn't credit the person who made the DK rap. They didn't credit him for some reason. But that was a very cool
Well,
thing to
yeah,
see.
it was basically like Metroid Prime Remastered.
And so after that scene, of course, they get the Kong army, and then they tell them what they're planning. So they make their way to making carts, and during the background, while they're making their carts, you can hear the theme that plays when you're selecting your cart in Mario Kart 8. I really liked that rendition of that, as makes me realize we've been playing Mario Kart 8 for 10 years, and hearing that just sort of be like all orchestrated in that was super cool to me. So they select their carts, and then they start making their way to Bowser. And eventually they stumble upon Rainbow Road, where Bowser finds out that Mario
Oh,
really
they
likes
think they can surprise me.
yeah. So they're trying to sort of do a surprise attack on Bowser, and then Bowser finds out that Mario has.
Well, really, it's that Koopa Troopa Battalion Commander finds out.
Yeah, but technically yes. But Bowser finds out eventually from the Koopa that Mario is on his way, and also that he likes that him and Peach seem to be talking a lot. So he does not like that one bit. And of course, this is probably where a lot of people really like Bowser, including me. For some reason, Bowser has a really big love interest in Peach in this movie. And of course, he has to show that by writing an entire song for her. And I'm not going to say the entire thing, but I'm just going to say that it's by far such a super good song. And he sings about Peach for a while. Eventually, Kamek interrupts him and then tells him again what Mario is planning in that, and how Luigi is his brother is eerily similar to Mario. So, but
Yeah,
Bowser says, "Okay, come jam with me for a second." So he plays the underground theme from Mario One, which I really liked. He then eventually tells him where they at, and then he slams the piano on Kamek and tells him, "Oh, can I get out? Can I lift the
music
piano
is the
cover?"
teacher.
Yeah, and he's like, "Can I flip the piano cover now, sire?" And he's like, "No, pain is the best way of teaching."
Yeah. And then I love how the writing on the front of the piano says Ludwig von Koopa, which
Yeah.
references one of the Koopalings from the games, and also references Ludwig von Beethoven, which is an amazing musician. Um, so yeah, the Khan Army and Mario and Peach and Toad, they go up this big ramp, and Mario's like nervous, and Cranky Kong says, "Well, step on the gas and buckle up."
And then they land on Rainbow Road, and this is where we hear Chris Pratt's take on the Wahoo, which originally in the second trailer did not sound good, but they re-recorded the line to sound more like Mario, which I'm glad they did. So as they're going through Rainbow Road, this is where Bowser decides to send all of his Koopas to attack them. Eventually, a bunch of Koopas are following them. Mario eventually gets thrown out of his cart, so he has to land on another Koopa's cart. He lands on another Koopa's cart and fucks up a bunch of Koopas, causing a bunch of explosions behind there. Oh, but he's not done yet, as there's another Koopa who tells them that they can stop them, and it's a Koopa that has a blue shell on top of them. So this blue shell Koopa, I don't know what his name is, tries to stop Mario by trying to crush him. He fails, but Mario does lose his cart. Eventually, they find a way to explode the Koopa's cart, and then the Koopa's like, "Oh, you can't stop me!" And then he turns into a blue shell, and for some reason strikes Mario and Donkey Kong, even though they're not ahead. So I don't know why they specifically went for Mario and Donkey Kong. I guess for plot reasons, but they're not ahead, man. It's called Peach and Toad. They're ahead. Hit them.
Yeah, the Koopa
You're
sacrificed
breaking the
himself.
rules. You're breaking the rules. Anyway, they fall into the water, and Peach and Toad are like, wait, without them, and with all the other Kongs, of course, because after the blue shell explosion, that breaks half of the road. So the Kongs get kidnapped. And then the Peach is like, oh, wait, we can't do it. We have to go back and warn the Toads. So they go back and warn the Toads. And after going back, we find out what's going on. And this is where Luigi, we find out what happens to him. He gets caged up, and there's a pit of lava above him and the prisoners, which was where the penguins are at, where everyone else is at, frankly. And we also get introduced to a few new characters in these scenes as well.
Yes. We get introduced to Lumali. He is a very funny character. I don't get why a lot of people hate that character. Like, stop whining about a fucking movie. Like, you're not a director. You're not Keanu Reeves. You're nobody. You're just the audience.
Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, so we get introduced to Lumberly, which for some reason talks about death a lot, which we still don't know why he's talking about death a lot.
Death from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
And what is it? Yeah, so a lot of people did not like Lumberly because of how kind of inconsistent the jokes got. Even Plain Rock didn't like Lumberly because a lot of people didn't like Lumberly because he would just keep talking about death, and I could see why a lot of people got sick of that real quick, but honestly, I didn't mind it, because people say he appears too much. He only appears in, like, 3 scenes, really. So he appears and tells them, oh, there's no escape. The only escape is the release of death. So eventually, this is where the next part of the scene takes in. After Mario and Donkey Kong fall in the water, this is where we learn that all the Kongs and Cranky Kong have been captured, right where Luigi and Lee and the Penguin Kings are at. This is probably where one of my favorite scenes in the movie happens, is where one of the Koopas tells them, "Oh, you're invited to the wedding," and
that's
and one of the penguins start cheering, and then he's like, "Well, you will all be sacrificed," and then they start screaming. It's so funny to me, because like the penguins have such a stupid look on their faces right before they scream. It's just kind of funny to me. So after that, they get invited to the wedding in which Bowser's trying to marry Peach, and this is where Peach's part of the story takes in. After they go back and warn the Toads, Bowser makes his way to the Mushroom Kingdom, and he gives Peaches 2 options: either marry him, or he's going to take over the world. And doing this to convince Peach to marry him, he starts hurting Toad. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll do it, but don't hurt any of my Toads. So they go and plan the wedding, while in the background, Mario and Luigi got swallowed by, I think, an eel. And they talk about how much of a disappointment their dads are. And then I like this part where Donkey Kong's like, well, your dad's right. You are a disappointment. And then he starts getting mad. And Mario's like, well, start punching things, punch monkey. And he starts punching a bunch of things and eventually they have an idea. they could do something to get the eel to spit them out. So the eel spits them out, and then DK pulls out this barrel, which is referencing Donkey Kong Country Returns, which I really liked. I was
Yeah,
like,
also Tropical Freeze too.
well, it originates in Returns, yes, but they reference that, and this is where we find out. This is where Peach finds out after planning the wedding that everyone in cages will be sacrificed, and she does not like that. But luckily for her, Toad hid a ice flower inside of the flower batch that she had. She pulls out the ice flower and freezes Bowser, but it's too late because he already started rolling. Kamek, I believe, already started rolling the prisoners down, and right as Luigi was about to get cooked, um, Peach freezes the thing that's pushing them down, but not for long, as that thing eventually breaks. This is where Mario and Donkey Kong arrive on the scene. Donkey Kong eventually pushes them all back up, while Mario gets a Tanuki suit and not only gets up there in time with Donkey Kong while Donkey Kong is climbing. This is where we get introduced to Fire DK, which I feel like was very short-lasted. I feel like it would have been sick to have like more power-ups for Donkey Kong. But it doesn't really matter because they eventually both make their way to the top. And as Peach is getting fucked up by Bowser again because he broke out of the ice, Mario comes in with the Tanuki tail and he just does something to Bowser. Bowser gets knocked off, I think. And then looks like everyone's gonna die again. So Donkey Kong saves them. And then for a minute, just as Bowser is willing to, as he sees everyone come back together, he gets mad and breaks out of the ice himself. And he's like, launch the Bonsai Bill. So the Bonsai Bill is following Mario. Then we have a whole chase sequence with the Bonsai Bill and Tanuki Mario. And Mario knows what to do as he's going to lead him to the pipe where Mario came out of. So he leads the Bonsai Bill into the pipe, and then the Bonsai Bill explodes. And then, because of this explosion, it affects Brooklyn. It causes a weird time warp to get both of the kingdoms warped together. This is where the next part of Brooklyn takes place.
Yeah. So Bowser, he invades Brooklyn, and then this is where the final fight takes place, where Mario and Luigi, Donkey Kong, Peach, and Toad, they go all fight against Bowser, and Bowser drops the superstar, and Mario and Luigi pick it up, and they defeat all the enemies, Bowser's minions, and they also defeat Bowser too. And then Mario saw the scene, their commercial again, their plumbing commercial. The commercial taught the Mario lesson that like you cannot quit, like you don't need, like, don't quit. And Mario and Luigi fought Bowser. Bowser told Peach that give me another chance, and Peach gives Bowser a mini mushroom, and he turns tiny. Like I do not like the mini mushroom power up. I know it does it reference. Did that power up come from New Super Mario Bros. DS? Was that the first appearance of that item?
Yes, it was. Another thing, so the reason why Mario gets back up is as he's getting messed up by Bowser, Mario's just like, oh, I can't do it. So the TV got broken by Bowser slamming him so hard against the wall. But right as about the TV is about to break, it just the commercial messes up and tells him to just save Brooklyn. So he does that, and then he finds out that as Mario is about to get there's a star that Bowser was going to use for the Peach sledding, but he didn't use it. So as Mario's about to reach the star, Luigi saves him as Bowser is going to like burn him to a crisp. But somehow Luigi finds a random pothole, and then right as they're about to get hit, they touch the star and become invincible. And you guys already know what the superstar is. It makes everyone invincible, whoever touches it. So they become invincible, and not only are more powerful, but mess up Bowser. And of course, Peach just shrinks him to mini size and puts him in a jar. And I liked it how Mario was like, see, I told you I'd get a pet turtle, because when they were chatting in Rainbow World, he was like, oh yeah, pet turtles are in Brooklyn. Want me to get you one? So I liked that reference to earlier. And that kicks off the Mario movie, as after that, we then find out that the once destroyed Brooklyn has now kind of turned into the Mushroom Kingdom with a mix of both. And that's how the movie ends. but there's two post-credit scenes. The first one is Bowser singing the rest of Peaches, and it's mini size. I liked that a lot. And the second one
Yeah.
I actually did not see. The second one I actually did not see my first time because I didn't know there was a second one. I did see it my second time though, and it revealed that Yoshi was coming to the next movie, and I cannot wait because yeah, overall, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is by far my favorite movie of all time. It does everything right, and any Mario fan will enjoy it. Even if you're not much of a Mario fan, people enjoys it. The credits, on the other hand, yeah, they didn't like it because they probably never played video games in their life. But if you're a Mario fan, I recommend you see this movie. It is a badass film, and even if you know very little about Mario, you'll probably know what the plot is. It's basically sort of like a video game plot, but it's Luigi.
Yeah. And oh yeah, when the movie they say Mario, and then they show Luma Lee playing the saxophone, playing the Mario Brothers theme. It's so cute, Luma Lee
Yeah,
doing it. Yeah.
I, I'm gonna be honest. Every single time Luma Lee popped up on screen at all, I had a big stupid smile on my face because he's just so cute to me. So the fact that the movie just ended with him saying, "Oh, that's a happy ending," but is it? Because everything's over now, and all that's left is you, Infinite Void. And he goes, "Kind of makes you want to play the saxophone, huh?" And he starts playing the saxophone for like a few seconds, and then it
The
cuts,
saxophone.
and then it starts cutting to the credit theme, which got me pretty emotional when I first heard it, as the song, which is called Level Complete, is a reference to many past Mario games, in which I got all the references to. And hearing Gusty Garden about made me pretty emotional because Galaxy is my favorite Mario game of all time. And hearing Gusty Garden again, except completely just remade in a beautiful orchestrated sense, I don't know, the original one was already orchestrated, but hearing it again just felt like it went back to my childhood and relived the memories of playing Galaxy. It felt like I'd been with Mario my entire life, and that's basically true.
Right. And yeah, this is my favorite movie of all time. Yeah, this is also my favorite Universal Pictures movie of all time. But who knows? The FNAF movie that's coming out later this year, it could also be my favorite movie of all time. Because, well, even though it's a live action movie. Um but I just see a lot of people forget about the Sonic movies now and the FNAF movie that's coming out. Like I get it that this movie is animated, but it doesn't mean you should forget about the Sonic movies and the FNAF movie.
A lot of people were just comparing the Sonic movies to the Mario movie when it released, saying that the Sonic movies are a pile of garbage. I personally don't see that. I still personally prefer I like both movie series, and I just because I watched the Mario movie doesn't mean that I didn't like the Sonic movies. I still like them. In fact, I think another reference I noticed was when they said Mario at the end of the credits right before Lumily pops up. I think it's a reference to the Super Mario Brothers free commercial where they had the people just chanting Mario's name. I think it's a reference to that. But I could
Yeah,
be wrong.
and then there was like another Easter egg, like in the movie, like there was like a Terminator reference,
Yeah,
one of the dry bones like dragging Luigi on the Darkland floor. Yeah,
yeah.
we see that a lot in movies.
I feel like a lot of Tornado references just makes the movie pretty good. But overall, I would say definitely go see this movie if you haven't. And even if you don't have the money to see it in theaters right now, when it comes out on any streaming service or even on DVD, I recommend you see it. If you're a Mario
Well,
fan,
yeah,
if you're a Mario fan like me, or if you're even remotely interested in Mario at all, I think you should go see this movie. You may not notice a lot of references like me and Nostalgia did, but that's just because we're pretty long time Mario fans. We notice a lot of Mario or whatever references. But it doesn't matter if you're an old or new Mario fan, the Super Mario Brothers movie will satisfy anyone who likes the series. Because, while, again, critics may not enjoy it, because, of course, not,
yeah, this is
I
made
would
for the fans.
it's made for the fans, not for like the basic ass people who've never played like a video game before.
Yeah, those
Uh,
are just all the activists and all the freaks that complain about it.
but um, but the Mario movie as a whole is one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie of all time. It does so much right, and I cannot wait for the sequel. As Miyamoto confirmed yesterday, there will be more Nintendo movies, so I cannot wait to see that. Because we could get like a Zelda movie or like a Kirby movie. That would be badass. See, like a Kirby ending in a fucking movie. That'd be funny as hell. Or hell, even a Super Smash Brothers movie, which I highly doubt could happen, but it would be badass if they
Yeah.
did that.
I've been seeing rumors about a Zelda movie happening. I feel like that might be the next Nintendo movie that Nintendo and Illumination might be making, but I don't know. We'll see. But it's gonna be a while before we see the sequel to the Mario movie. I would say probably about like a few years from now. Like I don't know, maybe like by like maybe close to 2030 or something. I don't know. But I feel like the next, yeah, like I said, I feel like the next movie from Nintendo will probably be Zelda because I know that's been heavily rumored for a while. So yeah, and that's like the second biggest franchise. So yeah, it does make sense for them to make a Zelda movie at some point. So yeah, yeah, I give the Mario movie a 10 out of 10. I know that it's gonna go on Netflix and Peacock for streaming services. I know that it's releasing physical on June 6th. So yeah, I'm definitely getting a physical copy on June 6th for sure for the Mario movie. I'm probably gonna get it from Best Buy. I'll probably get the 4K Ultra HD version because that's like the best version you can get for this movie. I know there's also going to be a Blu-ray and a DVD, but I'm just probably going to get the 4K version stuff. So yeah, I'll probably watch this movie again, like maybe like 2 or 3 more times in the theater before it goes on services and on physical. So yeah, highly recommend watching this movie if you guys are a huge Mario fan and haven't seen it yet. If you guys have seen it, good job for you guys because I'm pretty sure you guys loved it too. Yeah, just but yeah, the critics with this movie, this is how this is how Illumination movies work. This is how critics do it. That it's like I don't get why how critics go full force on these movies. Like I think I told you this, but like one Rotten Tomatoes critic was like ranting on like the people who love the Mario movie and it was like referencing like furries. I feel like that critic was like saying furries because of like the power ups and stuff and all that and like all the characters in the movie. But yeah, it's just yeah, this is a really good movie, favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, same. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Illumination movies, specifically because they always have like some of the stupidest humor,
Well,
I
I like
give
all of
the
them though.
give the Mario movie like an easy 10. It's just like it stands no contest. And I know, like I know a lot of people. I know some people may not like the movie because of Illumination in general, and that's fine. I mean, I personally don't like Illumination's films when it comes to some of the later stuff because I mean, yeah, I was really hoping to not see any minions in the movie, and thank God we didn't because I would have fucking killed myself if I did. But
Well, we did see
uh,
one minion in the beginning of the intro.
it's just because elimination films always have a minion in the intro. But either way, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, I highly recommend you guys see it if you haven't already. And if you have seen it, see it again. Fuck it, man. Like, see it as many times as you want because it's honestly super good. And I cannot believe that we've even got a Mario movie like now because the Mario movie can proves that you could have a video game adaptation and not have it be shit. Like it's just like we with the success of the Super Mario Brothers movie, we could have like more video game adaptations, which I would love to see. Imagine we get
Yeah.
like a Call of Duty movie or anything like
And we're
that would be
getting a
sick.
Five Nights at Freddy's movie this year from Universal as well in October. So that's going to be a huge movie.
Anyway, I've rented so long. It's about to be. The video is going to mark 50 minutes and like literally 2 minutes from now. So I'm willing to shut up and just get to the outro. So, thank you guys for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. And I know this movie review took so long for it to come out. I apologize. It's just that Nostalgia has been extremely busy lately, so we haven't had the time to do the
Yeah.
review. We wanted to do it last weekend, but you were hella busy, I think. So
Yeah, I was pretty
I
busy.
apologize. I apologize for that, but we hope you enjoyed this nearly 50-minute review of the movie. I know it's a very long review, but it's a fucking movie. What do you expect? so,
Yeah.
um, I'm just going to stop the video here, and I
Let me
cannot
say
wait to see.
something first before you end the video. Princess Peach seems cool, but I prefer Rainbow Dash, of course. Dashy, 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 dashy. I love you.
Okay, so you guys don't get the reference, but I for like when voice messages for Discords were first like introduced, me and Nostalgia played around with it, and I fucking found Jack Black Bowser AI voice. So Keon was like talking about Rainbow Dash and his Bowser could data, and I was like Rainbow Dash seems cool, but I prefer my Peach, and then he starts doing the Peaches songs, and that's pretty funny to me. But that's all I gotta say. We'll see you guys in the next one. I don't know when the next one is. Hopefully soon, but if not, then I guess this might be the final video of April because April is ending soon. So, peace.
Yeah, Dashi's 20% cool.